out there in the night sky, stared up at the stars in the hopes of seeing something out of the ordinary? Have you heard unexplainable noises coming from a vacant room, or watched a shadow cross the wall in front of you? Have you asked yourself if there is life after this one, or if you had life before? What about strange creatures that are mythical and elusive? Have you experienced deja vu or felt a prompting to leave because you felt you were in danger? If you have, you were on the fringe.
Welcome to another fun episode of On the Fringe. I'm Mark.
I'm Pam.
I'm Jess.
Hey, we're all here.
We're so professional.
Here we are.
I almost said a barbershop quartet, but there's only three of us.
A barbershop trio.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So, before we get started on tonight's episode, I'm going to take care of some housekeeping in just a moment.
Hey, this is Mark with What If Tomorrow and What If Tomorrow on the Fringe. Be sure to check out our website, whatiftomorrowmedia.com, and look at our cool merch. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, posters, and more. Our affiliates are Duke Cannon, EMP Shield, My Patriot Supply, and Conflicted the Game. Or check out buymeacoffee.com/whatiftomorrow and buy us a coffee. And as always, be sure to like, comment, and share on both Facebook and YouTube. It helps get our content out to others and help our channel grow. Now on with the show.
All right. Well, tonight's episode is kind of broad. We're going to talk about famous haunted cemeteries across the U.S. Now, I realize going into this that there are an awful lot of haunted cemeteries. And even just covering the most famous ones is like a 2 or 3 page Google list. I mean, there's not just a few. We're going to cover some of the top ones. And as it is, we probably will end up doing at least another show, if I'm guessing right. Oh, I could be wrong. We could just fly through these, but I really highly doubt it with this crew. We could probably just cover the haunted cemeteries within a 50-mile radius of our location and have a couple shows. Honestly, we could probably start a new podcast just about haunted cemeteries and have years worth of fodder.
32. 32 is the number of haunted cemeteries just inside the state of Kansas that we know of.
Yeah, see, there we go. We could make a whole nother podcast just devoted to haunted cemeteries.
Yes.
That's crazy.
But we're not going to do that because if Pam gets another podcast, her head is going to explode.
It will.
Yeah, there's not enough duct tape.
Duct tape.
Words are hard. There's not enough duct tape in the world to hold that together.
No.
Yeah.
No. Definitely not.
We're not giving Pam another podcast.
Thank you.
It's no.
Jess is putting her foot down.
Yes. The foot is coming down. No more podcast for Pam. No more podcast Pam. That should be your name. Podcast Pam.
Podcast Pam. I'm gonna change your
tag. You know what? So I miss the majority of the board meetings at the library now because I have podcasts on Tuesday night. So that is now my name. Pam, I have a podcast. Ernest.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, while we're sitting here, you should tell everybody at home all your podcasts so they can catch you on your other stuff.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we have On the Fringe, this one. Yay.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. On Tuesday nights, I have Amok, paranormal podcast, which is Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas. And then on Wednesday nights, we have Border Town Strange on one Wednesday with Jess. Woohoo!
Yay!
And a lot of times Mark. And then on the opposite Wednesday nights, I have In Other Words podcast, which is a podcast that I was only supposed to produce, but then I ended up being a part of with some other writer friends. And we do a lot of interviews of creatives and authors and things like that. Jess has been on that one, actually.
I have.
Yes.
Yes.
And I've been on Amok.
Yes, you have.
Oh,
You've been on all of them. Woo!
Yay!
whoop, whoop, whoop.
In says your name should be Pamcast.
Welcome to another
That's
Pamcast.
hilarious. Maybe I should just make a network and call it Pamcast.
Well, I
Maybe.
mean, we've been talking about maybe doing a channel on Roku. I mean,
Well, we know 5 podcasts we could do on there.
yeah, we could get a lot of people on there. Julie says, "What was that last one called?"
It's In Other Words podcast, and it's I'll find the link because there's a couple of podcasts out there with that name. We found out later, but ours is the best.
Yeah. That's why mine is What If Tomorrow on the Fringe, because apparently there's a lot of people using On the Fringe.
Yeah,
So
I can see that.
Yeah.
hosted
It's
by
one of
What
the
If
reasons
Tomorrow Media.
why when we picked Bordertown Strange, we went with the way it was. There was a lot of Bordertown stuff. And
There was, yeah.
if anybody added anything paranormal to that, it would go to the beginning. So we were really wanting Strange in there. And so we decided to throw it after the Bordertown. So Bordertown Strange rather than, you know.
Sorry. I was trying to grab a.
No, that's fine.
Okay, there, I got the link.
So, I mean, we've got a plethora to start with. Who wants to start today? Or shall I?
Why don't you start?
Okay, well,
And then we'll just roll.
the first one on my list is Lewis Cemetery number 1 in New Orleans.
That's a good one.
Word.
This one is haunted by Marie Laveau, the voodoo queen of New Orleans. There's various reports of seeing her ghost near her tomb, hearing whispers, and feeling sudden temperature drops. Some say leaving offerings can summon her spirit. So that, I mean, I think everybody who's looked into cemeteries has heard about this. So,
Yeah, who hasn't?
right?
I've been there.
You have been there. Why don't
I
you
have
tell us
been
about
there.
that?
It is extraordinarily small. Super high walls. You can't see over the walls when you go in. Although we found out while we were there that it's a nightly ritual for people to get in. They hop the wall somehow. It is very spooky inside. The above ground tombs are so packed in there. You often can't see what's coming around the corner. So I would imagine at nighttime it would just be scary as heck, wondering if there was something prowling down the next row.
Right.
I did get to see Marie Laveau's tomb. Very cool. And yeah, lots of offerings. They have to clean them out nightly to keep the area clean. Yeah. More amazing than Marie Laveau's tomb, though, however, was Nicolas Cage's, which I thought was fantastic. So there is a Nicolas Cage bought a plot there, and he had a giant concrete pyramid built there.
All right.
Yeah, it's just a gigantic pyramid in the middle of the cemetery. I thought it was pretty hilarious. Apparently, he's supposed to be buried there when he dies. But at the time that I went, I think they were wondering if he was going to lose that plot because, you know, he's kind of been bankrupt lately, I think, or something like that.
Well, you know, you can't take it with you.
No.
That's why he works so much, is because he spends all of his money. But that just means that there's more good movies for us to see. I think the guy's hilarious.
I had to go pull this really quick. Let me see if I can make it to where you guys can see it. There we go.
Yeah.
That is one of my great, I don't know how far back's grandfather, George Lightman. And he was buried in I believe, in that cemetery. But he's from New Orleans.
Now, like
Cool.
most New Orleans cemeteries,
Do we
all
look
above
alike?
ground, pretty much, isn't it? I don't think there's anything below ground.
No,
They all
no, they
float.
can't.
No.
That's the water table.
Hmm.
I mean, there's famous people. There's Etienne de Boer, whose name I just butchered.
Bless you.
Homer Plessy from Plessy versus Ferguson.
Oh, yeah.
Ernest N. Dutch Morial, first African American mayor of New Orleans. There's Alexander and Andrea Dimitri, Marianne Celeste Dragon, who was the subject of a famous portrait painted by Jose Salazar. I mean, there's really some famous people buried in this cemetery.
Let's see if I can get it to. That's
Oh,
Marie
Marie
Laveau's
Laveau.
tomb.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
there's the pyramid.
Well, that's fitting because we have Pyramid Pam right here.
That's right. Pyramid Power Pam.
Woo!
For those of you who haven't heard the story, we'll tell it another time.
Thank
Yeah, that's a whole show right there.
That's the whole show right there. That's fun.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Lots
pretty
of hamburger meat and a cat. It's good stuff. I'm going to leave it there. Leave you begging for more.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. And a fourth place ribbon. You can't forget that.
Oh yeah,
And
you
the
gotta
fourth place ribbon.
remember the fourth place ribbon.
Yes.
Mhm.
Words are hard.
A fourth place ribbon?
I am tongue tied.
I'm so glad
Okay.
it's not just me
Yeah,
tonight. For sure.
you know, work for 10 hours. I come home, wolf down some food, wash up a little bit, and come in here and get going. And my brain has disconnected from my mouth. So if you're wondering what's wrong with me, that's one of many things that's wrong
That's
with
it.
me. So. All right. So
Did you see what he input?
I did. It says, I hope Nicolas Cage built a massive and ancient power plant beneath his pyramid. I hope he didn't, because about a foot down below that, you're going to hit swamp. And I'm thinking a power plant and water isn't going to mix. So he would
Not
have
well,
electrified all of New Orleans.
it's so bright.
Could be wild.
Zzz.
That would
So,
be
yeah.
rough.
That
For
one,
sure.
Would be.
I mean, there's, and think about some of the reasons why it could be haunted. One, voodoo. But
Yes.
two, the water table. There is so much water in the area. And as we've discussed before and anecdotally proven, there seems to be higher activity where there are large amounts of water. And so you've got a cemetery with famous people in a land known for voodoo, and lots of water. And if I'm not mistaken, many of those tombs are limestone.
Yeah.
So,
Sure are.
Yeah.
which is also associated with paranormal activity. So, I mean, that one should come as no surprise. So, and like I said, there's so much about all these cemeteries. We literally could do a show about every single cemetery that we talk about. We're just going to try to keep it short and sweet tonight. Although, if we do run across something that really piques your interest, do send us a message on What If Tomorrow Media or the What If Tomorrow podcast group, or our email, whatiftomorrowpc@gmail.com, and let us know that that's something you'd like to see a deep dive on, because, it's y'all's show too.
Yep. Or let us know in the chats.
Yeah, let us know in the chats. I mean, if we kind of come across something that you find super interesting, we'll deep dive it. It'll be fun.
Yep,
So,
that's what we do.
all right. Next.
We read books and we know things.
Kind of.
Well, I have
We read books.
I have
We read
ADD
books
and the
and
internet.
we
I don't
act
have
like
that
we know
excuse.
things.
All right, so well, I pulled up. Do you guys want to talk about Bachelor Grove?
Yes,
Sure,
that's on my list too.
that is on my list
Yeah.
as well. Should
All
be
right.
on everybody's list.
Yes,
I would think so. If you don't know what Bachelor's Grove is, Bachelor Grove Cemetery is just west of Chicago, Illinois, so kind of close to us, within our stomping grounds, kind of. It's also the oldest one in that area, and it's one of the most famous. If you look up haunted cemeteries, it'll most likely be in the top 10. And if you watched one of like the Discovery channels, like haunted cemeteries specials, it's right in there. It has very famous photos to go along with it. The famous Madonna came out of that cemetery. So the Madonna, the woman in white, or the white lady they call her, she appeared in that very first photograph I was talking about in 1979. It was taken by local paranormal investigators. She wears a white dress, hooded robes sometimes, and sometimes she's seen carrying a baby. And I think that's eking over into urban legend type
Right.
territory.
yeah, for sure.
Claiming she's looking for her lost baby, what have you. Her most famous appearance was in 1991 in an infrared photograph in which she was seen sitting on the headstone. If you guys like paranormal whatsoever, you've seen this picture, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, and that one was taken by the Oaklawn Ghost Research Society, just to give them a little shout out for their photo.
Yep.
did you
yep.
show that one, Mark?
Do
That
I
particular picture? Because it's a good one.
do not think I have that particular picture.
Hang on just a second, I'll grab it.
Okay. Well, while you guys are looking it up, I'll go on because there's more to the cemetery than that. So the cemetery also has dancing orbs and light shows. It has a haunted, like a ghostly deer that walks through the center of it. Mists and fog, shadows that dart in and out of the headstones. And then there's also stuff happening on the outskirts of the cemetery, as if this isn't all, like confined to just the cemetery walls. So there's also the famous disappearing house, or they call it the Phantom House or the Magic House. Oh, they're flipping through photos.
Yeah.
So it's supposedly a Victorian-style home with a porch swing and a picket fence around it. It's not there, but it will suddenly appear, usually kind of transparent with a yellowy orange light in the windows. And then the house will shrink away and disappear, especially if someone tries to approach it. So if you're one of the lucky few who get to see it, if you start to walk towards it, it'll slowly fade out until it's completely gone.
Mark, it's at
And
the
then
bottom.
there's a fun legend that goes with it too.
There it is.
Yep.
There's the famous photo. That's the famous white lady. And I will say, this photo has been verified. They said it has not been tampered with whatsoever. And it's hard to tell the way we have this set up here, but if you look very closely at the photo up close, you'll see that she's actually transparent. You can see through her.
Mm-hmm. It's a really neat photo if you get a chance to look at closely at one. Enzo said, but is it a boing deer? I think not. Nothing beats
No.
the boing deer.
Yeah, it's no boing deer. Yeah. So
Love
the
it.
disappearing house, the legend is that if you manage to make it to it before it disappears, it will continue to disappear, only take you with it. You'll be gone forever. How this really works, I have no idea. Who went with it but made it back to tell the tale?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. There is some truth to this, however. They did go back and look at the area, and they found out that there was a house that sat right there, a Victorian-style one. They've never been able to find a picture of it, but they have heard stories of people who were around when that house was there. So, Whether there's any truth to it or not, it's a legend that's almost older than the cemetery itself.
Right. And they've
So,
also got sightings include monks, ghost cars, lights in the woods, eerie voices, and there are frequently anomalies documented by paranormal investigators. So,
yep.
You know, I tend to
Or
think that's
whatnot.
probably a very thin spot in the veil kind of place.
Yep.
You know, overlaps a little bit with some other things.
Wait a minute. I wonder if sometimes these cemeteries get built places that already have issues because nobody really wants to live there or do anything near it. Let's just put a cemetery there. It'll be perfect.
Maybe.
Yeah, it might be.
So
So-
before we go on, I wanna say something. I told these guys this backstage. So if y'all know me at all, you've heard my story about the disappearing house from when I was a kid. And I got a chance to talk to my oldest brother last night, and I haven't had that opportunity in a very long time. And we got to talking about that, and I was like, or we got to talking about our childhood, and I was like, I'm just going to record this just in case. I'm going to ask him about it. He remembers it. He even remembers more than what I remembered of the story. And I've got it all on video now, or audio at least. So I'm super excited.
Yay.
Yes. Pretty thrilled.
Because, yeah, you don't want to be in a disappearing, reappearing structure or vehicle. You might not like where you end up.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
Yep. So before we move on, a couple more things about Bachelor Grove, because we can't stop there. We have more to go. Yeah. So the biggest haunting that happened way before the cemetery ever happened was the famous farmer and horse apparitions that will run you down on its way to the pond. So back in 1870, and this was actually truth, so whether hauntings come out of it or not, I'm not sure. But a farmer owned that property, and his horse got spooked, took a run, and dragged the farmer with him, and ended up in the pond and drowned along with the farmer.
Wow.
And they supposedly are seen up and down that little area there around the pond that is still there right beside the cemetery.
Oh, yeah, I had a picture
And
of that.
has been seen running alongside the vehicles that are driving up the little road to get back into there. Next, there is a ghost dog that guards the gates and kind of troops back and forth like a little sentinel, and he's seen all the time also, especially when you're far back away. You'll see him up ahead, and then he just kind of vanishes. And then the famous bachelor lights. The bachelor lights are the same way. You have to be away from the cemetery, but pointed towards them to see them. They said it's a fantastic light show of multicolored lights that dance and move and go all the way around. But as soon as you get a little too close, they disappear.
Oof.
Yep.
That's weird.
There's a story too about a man in yellow. Have you guys heard that one?
I have
Well,
not.
Yeah, it's a more recent one. It was like, well, it's from 1984 anyway, so I don't know how more recent that really is. But a gentleman, his name was Norman Basile. He wrote something in the Chicago Sun-Times, and for a quote, he said, "A month and a half ago, I saw an apparition standing by a tree. It was a yellow figure, a man with a hat, probably in his 40s." And he added that he took a picture on the 1,000 speed film, but there was no photograph attached with it, so we didn't really see it I don't know anyone that's actually seen the photo, but that is another story. But I always crack up because when I hear that, it makes me think of Curious George, the man in the yellow hat.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
But yeah, he saw it standing by a tree. It vanished, followed by some red streaks. And then the friends saw nothing. So it's kind of interesting.
Yep.
But there was another lady that did see it. Her name was Heather. It was like 12 years after the fact, though. She saw something, but she thought maybe he was glowing and then realized, no, he's not really glowing. He's just dressed in yellow. And so she thought, it was just a person. And then he realized, wait a minute, I can see through him a little bit. So that's not cool. So she freaks out and runs, you know. But yeah, that's really all I found on that particular story. But I thought it was interesting.
It's supposed to be the most haunted cemetery in Illinois. And
It is,
with all the gangland stuff that's happened in Illinois, that's saying something.
Yeah.
It really is. There's been a lot of violence up there. You would think would cause a lot of hauntings. So, all right, what's up next, folks? Pam, do you have one you want to share?
Yeah, I'm stuck on the yellow man. Hang on. Look around here.
Dun, dun, dun. I
Right.
told you we could make a whole show of almost any one of these we talk about.
So while we're talking about Chicago, we have to bring up Resurrection Mary, right? From
Absolutely.
Resurrection Cemetery. That's comes from the Chicago suburb. It's a town called Justice. It's along Archer Avenue. And Resurrection Cemetery has been there a really long time. It's actually close to the Resurrection Hospital. And in fact, a friend of mine, her name is Kathy Mosdrin. She's from Chicago. She was born in Resurrection Hospital. So she always thought it was cool that I was so fascinated with the story, just because she's like, you live there. It's not that big a deal. But, you go anywhere else and you hear all kinds of stories about it. So basically what it is, Resurrection Mary is said to be a young woman who died tragically in the 30s. And ever since she passed away, drivers passing the cemetery, there's been quite a few drivers that have passed by it and have told the same tale. They're driving along Archer Avenue and they see a woman dressed in a white dress. And so she looks really sad. She's just not agitated or anything. And they stop and she asks for a ride. And they're like, okay. So, they let her in the car. And as they're driving, she's almost always in the back seat. And as they're driving along, they're talking to her and she may answer just one or two word sentences and things. But by the time that they hit the gates of the cemetery, they look in the back and she's gone, and so they go to the address that she has given them, knock on the door. And at the time, earlier, closer to the 30s, a family would answer and be like, that's Mary. She's actually deceased, So, but I don't know what happens now if she gives them the address. Have you guys heard any updates to that? Is anybody?
I have not.
I haven't either. I'd be curious to see if that
I would be
happens.
putting a sign on my door. Mary is deceased. You've been haunted.
Yeah, right. Please don't knock.
Please don't knock. The woman you've given a ride to is long gone.
Yeah. Some people swear that they've seen her handprints scorched in the cemetery's iron bars. Others have said they see fleeting glimpses of her, in rearview mirrors when they're driving by the area, maybe not to stop to actually get a ride from them, but just kind of seeing her in their peripheral. So is she real, or is she an archetype of a roadside sorrow kind of thing? Who knows? But that is a common theme for the hitchhiker, along the road.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories that were similar to that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Ian said that they have versions of that story in the UK too. That's awesome.
It might be one of those archetype things where it's a fairly common type of haunting.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be creepypasta.
Yeah. Well, it was creepypasta back before creepypasta.
Right. Creepypasta?
Creepypasta.
Wow.
Creepypasta,
it's one of those nights.
Dun, 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 dun. I need
But
baby.
yeah, that's, if you're going to talk about ghost stories and haunted cemeteries, you can't pass that one up, obviously.
Right.
It's right in the top 10 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All righty.
Isn't that cemetery the one where the bars look like someone's hands have been around it?
Hands are seared in the bars. Yep. Creepypasta Alfredo.
I mean,
That's awesome.
Doesn't sound bad. All right. So, do you have another one you want to talk about, Pam, or you want me to hit the next one?
You can go. You can go next.
My next
We'll
one
take
is
turns.
Hollywood
let's take turns.
Forever Cemetery. This is
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good
maybe
one.
one of the most famous haunted cemeteries in the world because it's for famous people. So Rudolph Valentino is one of the first. There's activity of reports of Valentino's ghost walking near his crypt. Lady in Black allegedly still visits in mourning. Strange cold spots and whatnot. Let me shift. I've got notes today, so I'm not completely
Yay!
right. I know.
You go, Mark.
Judy Garland's there. Mickey Rooney. It was founded in 1899. It's been there a long time. But you hear whispers and everything else. I think I've got some pictures of that one too. Hold on, I'm slow. Dun, 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 dun. So, yeah, I've got some photos here. Let me get them up. I'm not nearly as techie as I used to be. Oop. So part of it is I can't read my screen anymore.
That's a big problem for me too.
Right?
Yeah. I know it's time to get new glasses because when I try to read print, I have to take them off to read it.
The place is gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, the place is gorgeous. There's peacocks running around in the cemetery. I mean, it's fancy. It's very, very pleasant looking place. Oh, there's one. Uh-oh, we lost. There's Johnny. Dang it, I can't remember his name. Anyway, Johnny.
I can't read
it. Words are hard. There's the reflecting pool. Let's see. I mean, there's just tons of beautiful graves.
It's gorgeous.
You can't throw a rock without hitting somebody you've heard of. There's here's where tons and tons and tons of tombs. A lot of those are like cremains. Toto.
Oh, Toto's there. How cool.
Yeah. Whatever his real name was. It's just, the place is gorgeous, but it's also, I think the reason that this one, there's Fay Ray. Isn't it a shame she's just got such a tiny stone?
That is terrible.
That is terrible. But I really think part of the reason.
Well, there's Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. Part of the reason this place is so haunted is because its inhabitants were not only were they famous, most of them were beloved. And people have just put so much energy into the place. I don't know if it creates a tulpa effect or if it's just giving energy to maybe draw spirits or whatever back. It could be a pretty good healthy dose of both. But like I said, if you're a cemetery tourist, that's a place to go. The final resting place of some of your favorite childhood stars.
It is, but be sure that you go during opening hours because there is guards 24/7 because
Yeah.
of people trying to get in and
Steal stuff.
steal stuff, knock headstones over.
Or if you would prefer, if you go during October, every evening they show a different horror flick in the cemetery.
Oh, how fun.
And you
That
get to
would
take
be
your
pretty
blankets
cool.
in and you sit amongst all of those things and they show them up on a big screen. It's ticketed. You buy tickets and you can go in every evening during the month of October and watch horror movies in the Hollywood Cemetery. It's kind of fun.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my
You
gosh.
know, I would actually totally go and do that if I was in the area in
Ooh.
October.
Yeah.
Just to say that I
would
did
too.
it. Plus, I love old horror movies, especially old horror movies. You know, they've become kind of gore fests. But I remember when they were scary without being grotesque.
Yeah.
Of course, some of the ones that I remember were kind of grotesque, but
They were at the time anyway.
they were at the
Watch
time.
them now, they're not scary.
I love the Puppet Master series. And like Phantasm and some of those old movies, they were great. I loved them. So
Ian said YouTube channel Grim Life Collective has done a bunch of videos from there. Interesting if you're a Hollywood fan. That's
there you
cool.
go.
And Enzo said, "Don't blink." Did anybody else catch that reference besides me?
Yeah, I saw that. And
Doctor Who.
there are some.
Jess, you should know that one. We did that at the haunted house that we did at the Historical Society. We had the Weeping Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Don't Blinks. That's that
Yep.
one.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
So
Pam's
fun.
saying that because I'm Doctor Who illiterate because I don't. I've never been able to get into Doctor Who. I apologize for all you. I call you all Who heads. Sorry, all you Who heads.
I haven't watched the last 3 or 4. I intend to, but
Yeah.
just hasn't happened.
It's good. It's a great series.
So, but I've watched Doctor Who from when it was in black and white.
I used
You're
to watch it
old.
with my dad when I was a kid, when Tom Baker was the doctor.
Right,
So, yeah,
Don Pertwee and Tom Baker were my favorites.
yeah.
I mean,
Peter,
to me,
what's his
Tom
name?
Baker will always be the Doctor.
Yeah, that's who I think
Yeah.
of first.
Yeah.
I think of him, and then I think of David Tennant. So there you go.
So
You're in company, Jess. Sylvain has not watched any either.
We'll start our own little club. It'll just be the two of us.
uncultured swine.
Oh, wow. It got mean really fast.
It did. Dang.
Wow.
Well, that's what
Okay.
people call me all the time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, turnabout's fair play. I mean, they call me a lot of things, but most of them I can't repeat on a podcast.
You were talking about Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and you showed the picture of Burt Reynolds' grave. Did you guys hear that Lonnie Anderson passed away?
I did.
Oh no, I did not
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah.
She sure did.
I mean,
Kind of sad. I know they weren't married anymore, but it's still sad.
yeah,
I still connect the two of them together.
right. So he says laugh out loud.
Declare.
Yeah. All right. So Julie says, I only like the old Doctor Who, the 80s and before. And Julie, I agree with you. I did like those, probably the best. Oh,
They were good, but I do like Eccleston, Tennant, and Smith for sure. When he fell off that
So-
ship.
yeah, and that was a transformation to damn.
How cool. That's neat.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool stuff right there. So, yeah, I remember that episode. I was so sad. But
Yes, it was. It was awful.
Davidson wasn't bad. I liked Davidson. I don't think he had quite the chops that Baker had, but I liked Peter Davidson. So
Yeah.
that wasn't a terrible. We've got off in the weeds again. I'm sorry about that, folks.
Who, us?
Caution, rabbit holes.
Never.
So I know, right?
I lost my notes, so
That wasn't a rabbit hole. That was a
feel
hoo hole.
better about yourself. That was a hoo hole.
That was a hoo hole. That
A
sounds
whole lot
bad.
of who. That's what it was.
A whole lot of hooey? What? All right. So next, who's got the next one?
I'll do the next one. So I pulled up Fairview Cemetery out of Iowa
Fairview.
Nice.
with the famous Black Angel.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I might have a picture of that. And I might not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
So
I've
if you've
seen
never
it.
heard of it at home, it is one of the most impressive stone angels and fountains you've ever seen, and it's also supposedly one of the most haunted. We actually covered this one when we did Bordertown Strange. We did haunted cemeteries and cemetery games.
Mhm.
And this one was one of our favorites on there, so I decided to drag it over because it is a huge haunting. So this famous cemetery, they call it the Black Angel. It was actually a memorial statue that was built back in the early 1900s for a lady named Ruth Ann Dodge. It actually overlooks the entire cemetery. Funnily enough, Ruth Ann Dodge herself isn't even buried in that cemetery. She's buried in another cemetery like 2 miles away or something like that. Anyways, this dark statue is actually said to come off of its base at night and fly around the cemetery. It said if you gaze into her eyes, your life will end early. Children have walked behind the statue and disappeared, they've said. And the statue is also seen visiting fresh graves at night, like it's welcoming the new tenants into the cemetery.
Ooh.
Very, very creepy. It's a super creepy looking statue, too. Now, beyond that, the cemetery is also famous for lights, for moving headstones, and for a very tall, dark shadow that's about 10 feet tall that skirts in and out behind the tree lines back behind the cemetery. Kind of creepy. It's also one of the cemeteries, you'll hear this a lot, where the surrounding buildings of the town are also haunted, supposedly because of the cemetery, as if it's like leaked out and kind of infested the buildings around it. Another interesting thing about that statue, and if you want to hear like in depth on this, go back and check out that cemetery lore thing we did on Bordertown Strange. It was like last fall or something like that.
Yeah, it was where we bury them. Is that what we called it?
Yeah, where we bury them. Go check that one out. We go into great depth on this one because it has an extraordinarily interesting history on the statue itself. How it came to be, the lady who had it designed had all these visions about death coming to take her, and she couldn't rest until the statue was made. And then the gentleman who was assigned to create her used a model. And this model, holy cow, she tried to commit suicide. She did this, she did that. She got, they thought she was schizophrenic. She spent time in a mental health facility, and her life was extraordinary too. Just very insane stuff. And it's very much connected to the statue in a way. So go back and check that one out, because that in-depth history is really, really interesting and very, very scary, if you ask me. It freaks me out.
It really is, yeah.
I can't find a good image to show you. I keep finding them, but they're all just little chunks. So the best image I found was in black and white, but let's see if I can bring that one up. All right, I'm going to try it. Oops.
Whoops.
Wrong one.
Wrong window.
I'm telling you, I've become tech illiterate. I mean, I used to be the techie guy, and it's just It all is getting away from me. I think my brain is rotting. So, dang it. All right, let's see if I can. Dang it. Stop screen. I got to start opening a new one. Yep, there you go.
Yay.
I'm
There
trying to
you
get
go.
my ring out of there. There we go. Yeah, she's
There we
very
go.
creepy looking.
There's a pretty good picture of it. That's an old picture. So,
Yeah.
yeah, she's creepy
She's-
looking all right.
She is, well, I mean, the way she's aged also, they get that black, that old lichen and stuff kind of turns black on them. And it always looks like it's running down their cheeks because that's where it collects at because it's so deep where their eyes are carved in at. So she just really looks terrible.
Yeah. Evil. Oh, Tire Screech podcast back on track. Thanks, Ian. we do get off track and whop us up backside the head so we get back on it. All right. Pam, you got one?
I do. What about Westminster Hall and Burying Ground in Baltimore?
Yay!
Presbyterian
I'm going to get ready
Church.
to go see this one in the fall. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Yes, Baltimore, Maryland. So we talked about this one too on our other show, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this historic cemetery, it's where Edgar Allan Poe is buried, along with all of his family, at least his grandfathers and parents and things like that. But there is, according to lore anyway, there's a murdered minister's skull that gets so loud in death it had to be gagged and encased in concrete. And local singers still hear the muffled screams on quiet nights.
So I've got a gallery
Yeah.
from
Too funny. But the cemetery, I like the line where they say Poe may be resting in peace, but the rest of the cemetery seems to hum with unresolved stories. It's like wah wah. So Poe's grave itself and the surrounding area, it's often, cited as a focal point for paranormal activity. And there's tales of Poe's spirit actually being seen or sensed in the vicinity. An interesting thing about him is he was buried there not once, but twice, because they buried him originally and then dug him up and moved him. And I could be wrong, and I may have the story wrong. Was he moved a third time, or is it just the two?
It's just the two.
And the second time they put the raven marker.
Yeah. He got moved by children.
Oh.
Do you guys know that story?
I did not know that.
It's really interesting. So when they went to go move him, it was actually spearheaded by a teacher in Baltimore. There wasn't money to move him like he needed to be moved. His area was falling apart and people had been messing with it and they really needed something more permanent for him. So her and her classroom started a penny drive, pennies for Poe.
Oh, that's
and they
cool.
collected pennies.
I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, a businessman there in the Baltimore area said, "Hey, if you guys can get so much of this built up with your pennies, I'll match the other half." So that's what happened. They ended up getting enough pennies. This dude matched it, and they were able to buy that whole setup for Poe. So now when you go past there, you'll find pennies all over the place because people are still giving pennies for Poe. And the
awesome.
the cemetery lets them gather, and then they gather them up when there gets to be too much, and then they put it towards taking care of the cemetery and the grave.
Yeah. That is really cool. And, they say that it has catacombs too, and it truly doesn't, because what happened was the cemetery was founded, like 60 years before the church was placed there. So once they built the church, they built it on top and over some graves. So it's kind of like there's catacombs, based on that reason. But there are some other hauntings said to be there. There's sightings of a nameless old man. There's supposed to be a woman in a straitjacket and
Yeah.
a disgruntled groundskeeper. So,
Mhm.
Right.
Will
there's
chase
also
you.
yes, and there's also a phantom screaming that's said to echo throughout the cemetery, aside from the skull. Right, exactly. Um, but there's also stories about body snatching that where what they call the catacombs, where they are now, is where it was once a graveyard that body snatchers used to steal corpses from for medical study. So that kind of adds to the reputation of the place a little bit too. But there's also General John Swan that is buried there, and the area around his grave is said to be haunted by a man in uniform who yells at visitors to leave. So it kind of makes me think there is a cemetery that we have frequented, and there is a ghost in there that pretty much yells at you to get off his porch, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah.
A psychic, get off my porch. Get off my lawn, kid.
Yes, that's what it reminds me of a lot. That's what this made me think of. Get out of here.
That one actually did not make my list, but
No,
I was able to find some pictures.
yay. It's a neat cemetery. It really is. It just you'll have to take lots of pictures.
I absolutely will. I have every intentions of doing that, and then we'll show them here and on Bordertown Strange.
Sweet.
It'll be super fun. Yay!
See, these are the vacation photos that everybody doesn't mind seeing because they're cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I have to visit there too. So, for all of you who aren't like super close to my family and I, my husband and I met, and one of our loves was Edgar Allan Poe. We both loved Edgar Allan Poe, so much so that when my daughter was born, we named her Raven. So we absolutely have to go visit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're anywhere close, you definitely have to.
Yeah. All right. So, are we ready to move on? Or are you still looking for photos?
I'm not
sorry.
looking for photos
Okay.
anymore.
I want to do Dead Children's Playground
Ooh,
in Huntsville, Alabama. It's a good one.
that is a good one.
Does it got another name?
Yet another cemetery. If you look up haunted cemeteries, it'll be in the top 10. I almost guarantee it. And you can watch plenty of video on YouTube of the cemetery. Just type in the name of the cemetery. You're going to find so much stuff, especially the next door playground where the haunting has leaked over into.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch swings going back and forth on their own. You can hear weird sounds and whistles in that area. It's really strange. Anywho, so the cemetery itself is called Maple Hill Cemetery. It's in Huntsville, Alabama. There were 2 huge outbreaks back in 1918 and 1990 of influenza and some other stuff that literally just wiped out entire generations of kids.
Yeah.
There it is.
The
Did you find
cemetery is plumb full, and it has an entire section of children's graves from those outbreaks. And right beside it, it's the end of the cemetery, there's a fence, and then right on the other side of it is a children's playground. Yeah. Now, to really drive this home and make sure something was going to come of this, both of those are nestled right beside a huge limestone and quartz quarry. So, there's that.
There's your power right there. That's how it's powered, probably.
There's your playground.
Mm-hmm. So the activity here peaks between 10 p.m. and 3 p.m. and anything and everything that you can think of that is involved with some kind of a haunting happens here inside the cemetery and out on the playground. And in front of the cemetery in the road, they've had things run out in front of vehicles before. Yep. Lights and shadows moving.
There's a good picture from the playground into the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not much of
Triple
a
whammy.
wall that separates it.
No. But like I said, go hit up YouTube. Just type in Dead Children's Cemetery, Huntsville. You probably won't even need to put in Huntsville. And you will see video after video after video of people just walking in. There's one really scary one where this dad and his kids were walking in the evening to go play on the equipment before it got too dark. And as they walked in, you could already see that everything was moving. The swings were all moving back and forth, and they stood there and watched it for a good 5 minutes, and he recorded it until his kids were so creeped out they just cried to go home. They were like,
Let's
"Let's
go
go,
home,
Dad.
Daddy."
Yeah.
We want to go home."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's a creepy place.
That is. That right there is weird.
Yeah, it really is. So, all right. We ready for a new one?
Yeah.
Well, we've already talked about white ladies. Let's see. I don't think I have any pictures of that one. What we've got Union Cemetery, and I do have some pictures from Union Cemetery in Easton, Connecticut. So, Connecticut. I'm sorry, I butcher everything.
Have you met us?
I know we should be.
The butchering of the English language, I think it's just a Kansas accent at this point.
It might be. There's a picture of Union Cemetery. So there it is. Union Cemetery. They've got a white lady. That is the big one. Described as a woman in a white nightgown who appears near the cemetery and nearby roads. Ghost hunters Ed and Lorraine Warren called this one one of the most haunted places in the United States. The cemetery itself dates back to the 1600s. It is located near Stepney Cemetery, another haunted spot. The white lady is often caught on camera, including one claimed video by Ed Warren. She's seen walking Route 59 and vanishing into the cemetery. And some people say she's tied to a tragic love story, and others believe she was buried in an unmarked grave. So, I mean, it's a pretty good story anyway.
It is.
But there seems to be a lot of this is like your archetypical white lady haunting.
Yeah. And there's a lot of those in the cemeteries, which is kind of makes sense, I guess.
So it does make you wonder, is this just a really common occurrence, or is it a lot of popular culture causing these things to manifest spontaneously?
It's probably a combination.
There's probably a lot of factors going on to that. It could, I mean, the human psyche is capable of generating reality, if enough people believe in something. So it wouldn't be surprising, if it created similar phenomenon all across the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Or could be really haunted as crap.
One or the other.
I mean, yeah. Some of these places I am 100% sure are haunted, and some of these places I am not.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, I mean, it's pretty famous. There's no doubt about it. There's not quite as much going on there as there are some of the other ones. But definitely one to check out if you are in Easton, Connecticut. I will not butcher it this time. But that's how it's spelled.
Connecticut.
That's how when I'm writing, I will say it phonetically like that so you can
spell it.
So I can spell it right. Otherwise, I'm going to butcher that too.
It sounded like you were getting ready to say it like Schenectady or something.
Schenectady. I can't even say that.
Don't hurt yourself.
Is that like, should we all say it together? Vehicle.
Vehicle?
Vehicle.
I mean,
Vehicle.
we are from Kansas. Sorry about that, Ian.
Hey, did you change my name, my moniker? You did.
I did.
Mark. I just noticed.
I told you I was going to do it.
Podcast spam.
It's a haunted podcast. It changed itself. I didn't touch anything. There's no keys here.
Ian says to stop it.
He's
Why
gonna
are you? You're gonna get too boozed up?
Yeah, he's gonna be 3 sheets to the wind if he's not careful.
Is that a drinking game? I mean,
Well, he should be getting ready to go to bed. We'd probably be helping him out if we get him plowed.
I mean, hell. Ian, if you're ever in the
sleep
neighborhood,
really well.
stop by my house.
Uh-oh, he's pulling out the globe.
We'll crack one.
The globe of inebriation.
Yes, it's the globe of inebriation. Well, you know, that's Kansas classy, or totally
Okay.
tacky, depending on where you're from. I mean,
Kansas classy. Woo!
woo, I drink my liquor from a globe. Just
He
think-
travels the world when he drinks.
right.
Oh no.
I like that. Oh,
I'd
no.
say I'd stop drinking, but I don't really drink. I mean, wintertime I'll drink 1 or 2 to keep from coughing all over y'all. But
I'm
know.
still working on the mics that we bought in Geneseo.
I've still got some I bought from way before that. I've still got some cranberry mics in the fridge.
I think I still have like 4 of them, maybe.
Oh,
Too funny. Is it my turn?
it's somebody's turn.
I think it's my turn. So I'm going to get a little bit closer to home with this one. This one isn't a huge one. It doesn't have a whole lot going on, but I still thought it would be fun to mention.
It makes every list.
right?
Top.
Because it's only not quite 2 hours from us over near Joplin, Missouri. It's the Peace Cemetery. And so what this cemetery is, it is actually, I lost my notes, hang on. It's said to be haunted by the ghost of Billy Cook. He is a 1950s spree killer, and he's buried just outside of its grounds because, obviously he couldn't be buried in the grounds. But he's reported to roam the perimeter, and some claim to hear his footsteps or feel a sudden chill when passing by. And that's something, actually, one of our friends, her name's Lisa Martin. She's with Dark Ozarks and Paranormal Research Lab out of Carthage, Missouri. And
And an author.
And she is an author. She's got 3 or 4 books now. And she will be at Paracon. If you're going to be there, you can meet Lisa. She's a really cool person. But she did say that it is not uncommon for people driving into the cemetery at night to see what looks like a shadow man standing against one of the trees along the drive. And there's also people that have very foreboding feelings while in the cemetery. They feel like they're being watched. Some feel, get panicky, feel like they're in danger. And then other times there's people that'll hear footsteps or laughter. And there's unexplained floating lights, which kind of sounds a lot like the Joplin spook light. Yeah, because it's a bluish white light that's very similar to it. So I thought that was a cool one, and I thought it'd be a fun one to make sure that we got included in there.
I thought you were going to go someplace totally different with that one.
Did you? Where'd you think I was going to go with it?
I thought you were going to talk about the Stull Cemetery.
I can talk about Stull if you want.
I mean, we can do so. I might even have some pictures of that. By golly, I
do
told
it.
you, I did some stuff.
I am so proud of you, Mr. Mark. So, Stull Cemetery. If you haven't heard of this cemetery, you have been sleeping under a rock. One of the 7 gates to hell is in Kansas. Not. Okay, so this one is my pet peeve cemetery, and Mark and Pam have heard me harp on this before.
Yeah.
It will definitely make the top 10 if you look up haunted cemeteries. It is in
time.
the top 10. And this poor little cemetery in this poor little tiny town of Stull, Kansas, has taken on this horrible legend, much to their dismay. So the legend goes that Stull Cemetery is one of the 7 gates to hell. There used to be a little stone church on it that they said that the crosses hung upside down in. If you went inside, liquids flowed upside down. You could hear like maniacal, demonic laughing. Things would zoom around you. People had gotten knifed in there, even though there was nobody wielding a knife. And then they said every Halloween night, if you went out there, the devil would come, you know, and take his followers with him, and blah blah blah. And there's so much more to it. The Pope wouldn't fly over it.
That was a big
He
one.
refused to do so. Just all sorts of stuff. Now, this entire story only goes back to the mid-70s. And KU University is right there, right near it.
Not
And
K-State, KU.
not K-State, KU. KU still does have a newspaper, and its newspaper staff was supposed to be doing a Halloween edition, and one of the writers was needing a good filler story, something fun and scary to put in the newspaper. So he went poking around in the local, phone book and found Stull, Kansas, and was like, oh, sounds scary. It sounds kind of like Skull. So he made up an entire story, the story I just told you, to go into the paper for fun. And unfortunately, it took on a life of its own. That exact Halloween, right after that paper came out, kids were gathering there with beers, waiting for the devil to come down. The poor little area doesn't even have its own sheriff or police force because it's too tiny.
Right.
The only reason why it's a town is because it had a post office for a short while, and I don't even think it has its post office anymore. I think now it's just a little... What do they call that when you don't have a post office anymore? There's a name for it.
Unincorporated?
Yeah,
Unincorporated. Yeah. So it almost died out. The next year, it looked like it was dying out because everybody kind of forgot about the story and nothing happened that night, except for that a lot of police had to come in from out of town and get those kids out of there. But unfortunately, the Kansas City Star, a big newspaper out of Kansas City, picked up the story and told it as if it was completely true.
Right.
And that's where it took off at. And it has it's like an urban legend. It just spread out. And now suddenly every town, we have a little cemetery near us that's supposedly haunted. And the Pope won't fly over it.
Yeah.
It
The
also
Pope
has
won't
the
even fly over
famous...
Kansas most of the time.
Yeah. It's where the famous witch grave story comes from. It says witch on it because a witch was hung there and they just dropped her where she lay, and that's where they buried her at, and they put witch on her stone to warn other people. That is the origin of that story. That grave does not exist there. It was a part of that original story from that kid at KU. I won't give out his name because that's just not right.
And he's grown up by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
sure
that
I don't know if that wears on him or not, that those poor people, but it just makes me madder than hops every time somebody retells that as if it's a real story, because those poor people in Stull, Kansas, it's a teeny tiny little sleepy, almost a retirement community. There isn't a lot of younger people in it.
No.
And they've had to bar off that cemetery. You can't get into it now without permission because they would just go in and destroy it. That little church I was talking about, which did exist there, it fell in, and they finally just had to bulldoze it.
Yeah.
So that's
we've got
Stull.
cemeteries like that around here that, they have to keep an eye on. I get it. They have to keep an eye on them because they will get tore up.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I'm sorry, I'm going to apologize to everyone. And we may need to change banners here to this one. are dumb
Yeah.
until they get to be a certain age, and that's just dumb stuff that kids do.
Yeah. Their prefrontal cortex is not completely matured until
Their
they're
brains
at
are
least
still
25.
soft. They haven't hardened up yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I had no desire to go wreck cemeteries.
No, never.
I know you guys never
You
did.
were
but
raised better than that, so
Yeah.
I was.
Some
If
people
I
just were
had
not
done
raised
that, I
well.
would be in the cemetery
Exactly.
because
I
my
would
parents
have.
would have done killed me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I grew up with my grandparents going out to the cemeteries to put flowers on everyone's grave, on Memorial Day. And you guys know, it's like I don't have a lot of living family, but I've got a ton in the cemeteries around here. So, yeah.
Well, see, when I was a kid, there was a little cemetery that was in a little hay meadow that my dad put up hay in every year for years. And it was part of the bottomland that we rented for wheat across the creek, but we had access to the hayfield too. So we put up hay there every year. And there was this teeny tiny little cemetery. And we all thought it was a shame that it was in such a mess. And so every summer we would clean it up completely a couple times, and we'd go with it. It was so small we could mow the whole thing with a weed eater. But yeah, the stones there had been trashed, and it took forever. We pieced quite a few of them back together, and several of them were put together with epoxy. But most of them just got laid out in the pieces so you could read them, and then we weeded around them so people could find out, if they knew anybody there. But yeah, seeing people tear that stuff up, it twists my garter.
Oh, my. Do tell.
It does irritate me a little bit. So I can see why the people of Stull have had to, be the way they are.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
It is. It was a beautiful old cemetery once upon a time, but now it has just been wrecked. So, yeah. And I'm just going to put this out there. If anyone's listening who is a paranormal investigator, or you have a podcast, or you put stuff out on paranormal stuff, if you push that story as being true, you are doing everyone a disservice. Please stop. Please stop. And if you put it out and didn't know any better, shame on you, because 2 minutes of research will garner you that original story out of the KU with the original thing that the student did, talking about the fact that it was made up for fun for the paper. Mm-hmm. So if you've put it out before, shame on you, because I know you didn't do your research. Do your research.
Yeah.
Even ChatGPT found it out. It's in part of my notes from ChatGPT. So.
Yeah. Every beer can that ends up on a headstone, every headstone that gets pushed over, every time a fence gets taken down at that cemetery, it's because you helped push it. So shame on you. I hope you sleep well at night.
So, yeah,
all right, rant's over with.
I've never understood why people wanted to do that stuff. All right, next one. What have we got?
It's your turn, Mark.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it. Yeah. I'm not sure if I've got any pictures of this one, but what do you guys know about Greyfriars Kirkyard in Charleston, South Carolina?
In South Carolina?
That's not in South Carolina.
Charleston, South Carolina.
That's in...
Greyfriars Kirkyard is in Scotland.
Yeah.
There is a U.S. version that still has local lore.
Oh,
so
cool. I didn't know that one.
Now, there's also a Greyfriars Kirkyard in Edinburgh, Scotland, which is internationally famous. The U.S. version is less well known, but still has local lore. It is haunted by unknown spirits and Civil War soldiers. The activity includes strange lights, voices, and a sense of unease that plagues visitors.
Ooh. Sounds like my kind of place.
Yeah, doesn't it though?
It does.
It is not to be confused with Scotland's Greyfriars. Charleston version is tied to the colonial and Civil War history near several battle sites and ancient churches. Reports include soldiers in period clothing, shadow figures, eerie moaning, and some say spirits are tied to church desecrations and grave robberies from the 1800s. So once again, the body snatchers.
Yeah.
So
that was a real thing too.
It is. I'm going to get off in the weeds just a little bit. Has anybody ever heard the term rot gut whiskey? I'm about to gross our audience out. So these grave robbers, to transport these corpses, they didn't want them to get any more rotten than they already were. So they would stuff them in oak barrels filled with really cheap whiskey.
Oh, don't tell me this is where that's going.
Oh, it is. You might want to block your ears. So some enterprising individuals, once they delivered these bodies to the medical schools, thought it would be a great idea to resell the whiskey in local saloons. Hence, rot gut whiskey, which actually tasted like, well, rotting flesh.
That's so gross.
This is a true story. Look it up.
So gross.
And if I remember the story correctly, it was medical students who did that with the whiskey. You know, because they're poor, they're going to school. All right. I'm going to leave that there. Sorry. Sorry, folks. My bad. My apologies to everyone who is hanging out with us in the chat and everyone who has to listen to that. And
that was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad. But true. It's true history.
Yeah. And that's the fun part of it. You know, it is true.
So, all right. We've got time for a couple more before we wrap this up. We can do another episode on this if you guys want.
Yeah. Or we could maybe do international.
Ooh, we could do that. Well, I mean, we really need to talk about the original Greyfriars Kirkyard.
Yeah, because it's fascinating.
It really is.
You could do a whole episode just on it. Honestly.
So, you want to talk about?
I have one.
Go for it.
I have one, and it's near and dear to our hearts. It's Round Mound Cemetery. It's in Cummins, Kansas, which is just down the road from us. If you know where Sedan and Cedarville are, you will have a really good idea of where Round Mound is. It's a little dot off the side of the road. Actually, it's a little bit off the road and down a dirt road a little bit. But it's an interesting place. Years ago, I had it made the top 10 most haunted places in America on a website, and we were like, we don't even, we know nothing about this, and it's like right in our backyard. So we had to go check it out, of course. And we went out there during the day to look first, and it's a very nondescript it's set on the side of a hill facing east. Beautiful little place for sure. There's probably about 800 burials in it. And we didn't think that much of it. There was cows in the fields around it. No big deal. And we're like, okay, we may have to come back here at night, check it out again. So we did. And my oldest son came with us, and he was an adult by then. So we go out there, and there's like, instead of a full road, there's like 2 tire tracks that are graveled, for the lanes. And so we were like, this is pretty cool. And we heard a couple of sounds, couldn't really place them, heard a whistle. couldn't figure out where that was coming from. And we were getting ready to leave. And so we start walking down the gravel path to get back to our car. And my son, Tim, he's like, stop. I hear there's somebody walking behind us. And I was like, oh, I don't think there is. So we stop and you hear crunch, crunch, crunch. There was like 3 steps behind us. And we're like, oh, are you kidding me? Are we really, are we going to get something here? So we turn around and look, there's nothing there. So he's like, okay, let's try it again. So we walked like 4 or 5 steps and then we stopped. Sure enough, crunch, crunch, 3 steps again. And it happened 3 different times. And we took photos. There's nothing there, but it sure was walking right along with us. And it was right behind us, whatever it was. So I was thrilled. I thought it was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've only been out there a couple of times, but it was worth it. I mean, it was fun. But it's one of those places. It is got a lot of family in it. So make sure that you get permission before you go in there. Don't go in there and wreak havoc or anything. But if you go check it out, but it is a beautiful little place. Somebody likes to sneak up behind you.
All right. That is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it is about time for us to say goodnight. And if you guys are game, let's talk more haunted cemeteries.
Yeah.
2 weeks from tonight.
We can totally do that.
Do you want to do more U.S. or do you want to go more worldwide?
We can do both. Let's
We can
just
do
spread
both.
our wings a little. As the Black Angel would say, let's spread our wings a little bit. And
That's kind of scary. It's kind of like Mothman scary.
yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get this up. I'm going to, before we go, I'm going to share a screen if I'm smart enough. And
Yay!
Bordertown Paracon, Saturday, September 24th.
Nope. That's from 2022.
God, that's the wrong one. Dang it.
Yeah, that's an old one.
That is
Saturday, September 27th.
Where the hell did I get that one? Well, anyway, Bordertown Paracon, come see us.
Saturday, September 27th.
Or is 27th?
Oh, am I wrong? I could be wrong too.
No, you're right. 27th.
Okay. You got me doubting
27th
myself.
in Caney, Kansas. Over here at the Caney Rec Center. It's a fairly nice venue. We've got parking. There's going to be a car show that weekend. It's not every year we have something going on in tandem with us, but this year we've also got a car show downtown with food trucks. Come on down to Caney, Kansas. If you're not interested in the paranormal, come down for the car show and just stop by and say hi.
Absolutely. It's free to get in, and we've got lots of stuff going on.
And to our knowledge, it is the only free Paracon in the United States.
Yeah.
We don't charge anything at the door. Now, this year, we do have a class given by our good friend Brian Terrell.
Yes.
We're selling 20 tickets at the door. 20 tickets at the door, first come, first serve, to come have a class about Bigfoot stuff.
How to hunt Bigfoot.
How to hunt Bigfoot. And that is, we need to set up a cam and tape that and live stream that as well as our other live streams.
Well, we can't live stream it because it's a paid to get in.
Ooh, yeah. We'll record it and put it on pay-per-view.
Put it on pay-per-view.
That works.
We'll do something so that people can check it out after the fact, or at least some excerpts.
Funny.
So,
yeah, it should be a good time. We got speakers and panels and vendors and food and a tarot reader, a medium.
Christy Campbell.
Yeah, she's gonna do a free room reading for an hour.
Show.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yep, it is going to be fun. We look forward to this every year. It is a lot of work, and this year has just flown by.
Oh, I know.
It's caught up with us fast. for those of you who are speaking, we usually have a dinner the night before. Where that's going to be this year is still kind of up in the air, but we will have plenty of food for our guests, for those who are speaking and presenting. So do remember that if you're one of those. So
Here you go, Mark. I found it.
yay! I don't know why I could not grab the wrong one. There you go.
Woohoo.
So check us out.
All sorts of raffles and stuff.
Oh, we
I
have
think that's everyone's favorite is the raffle. So
we
That's
have so many
great.
raffles. We get a little crazy with the raffles, but the
We do.
raffles fund the Paracon every year.
They do.
that's what they do. They absolutely
do.
do.
It's not hugely expensive for us to put on, except in labor. There is a lot of labor, especially Jess and Pam. I provide some leg work, some money, and a few good ideas and a few bad ones.
Who is that face in the center and the bottom? Is that Enzo?
I believe that might be.
Hmm.
Yes, that is our good friend.
There
Enzo
he is.
Ferrell.
Flashing the Benjamins.
Mhm. Yeah. The money man himself.
It's a great picture.
So, those of you who are viewing this, there is a QR code on here. So if you get on YouTube, if you're listening to this on your podcast provider, you can go to YouTube, check this episode out. At the end of it, there is a QR code you can scan, so you can get all of our information. So,
You've heard us talk about Brian Terrell and Enzo. And also along the bottom there is Jim Gray, which he is the infamous Jim that we go see at the Geneseo Kansas UFO Day. He's going to be here sharing some reel-to-reels of actually they were transferred over, weren't they? To I lost the word. Anyway, he'll be playing those. Yes, and you can hear the actual voices from the 40s, 50s, and 60s of people talking about their UFO experiences back in the day. Their flying saucer back then it was.
Yeah, they called them flying saucers back then.
Yeah.
So that is really cool. I think it's going to be a good show this year. I can't wait to see some of our viewers and listeners out there. And hey, get on, like and share our event page. And come on out. Like I said, if you've got somebody you want to bring with you and they're not interested in the paranormal, words are hard. If they're not interested in the paranormal, send them down to the car show.
Yeah.
And you can hang out with us all day long. And unlike many Paracons, our speakers are encouraged to walk around and chat with the folks. In fact, that's where they get some of their new stories and they get new leads. You learn stuff. Everybody wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you like to read, we always have a good handful of authors in who all have their books readily available and would love to sign one for you and chat about their work. So
yes, that's what
I
I
feel like
need is
our
more
con,
books.
you can really get in there and get to know some of these people and all of these paranormal teams and stuff that'll be in. They so want to hear your story. So come on for that day and just hang out with us. It's really fun and laid back.
It really
is a great day. Yeah, it is a great day. And if you are not in the area and you are unable to attend in person, we do live stream the presenters. So you'll be able to see those discussions and
a lot of people checking those out.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on just a second. I'm going to see how many people have looked at that on YouTube. I think there is a bunch.
Yes, so they will live stream it on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're interested in how it goes, our previous year's Paracons are still up on our Facebook wall. You can go back a year and watch last year's Paracon.
Right.
The year before that.
Yeah. Or go to Border Town. Well, do we have them on? No, we have them on Strange, don't we? If you go to Border Town Strange, Sylvain, and look through our catalog, you can see last year's live streams from the Paracon.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get into it on short notice, but I will do that for next time. We've had several hundred people watch various
Yeah.
presentations and whatnot. It's a good time, and we encourage everybody to come out.
It
And
is.
it's absolutely free.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, join us in 2 weeks, and we will talk more cemeteries. And you ladies, a week from Wednesday, are going to be having a show
Mhm.
on what are you covering this time? On
The
Border
Dark
Town
Watchers.
Strange.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We're doing the
Dark
Dark Watchers and varying other smaller legends, kind of referring to that kind of a situation, that,
Mhm.
strange shadow people that live in the hills type of situation. That's what
Yeah.
we're going to be
Hills
doing.
Have Eyes.
Yeah, the Hills
So-
of Eyes.
Yep. So Border Town Strange, 1 week from Wednesday.
Yes.
7 p.m.
So
It'll be a good
7
time.
p.m. So you guys get out there and check these ladies out. They are awesome. They have a much better show than I do.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You're
I
full of
think they're both
baloney.
good.
Well, I'm full of a lot of things. Usually hot air is top of the list. So, all right. With that, folks, I'd like to wish everybody a good night and keep it, like these girls say, keep it weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
We like it. We like it. And it's all connected.
That's right. He's
That's-
stealing all of our lines.
I am doing all of your lines. Hey, I believe I might have coined one of those lines.
Maybe.
Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I say a lot of dumb stuff, and some of it just sticks.
How fun.
All right, folks. Well, good night, all.
Good night,
night.
everybody.